So Funcom didn't just tweak sorcery, they completely reworked half of it. Blood now yields triple, no more juggling magic pouches for tier 1 spells, and apparent faster casting. Some of these changes are genuinely huge. So let me break it down in under 10 minutes. G'day Exiles, I'm Vanillibet, and today we're diving straight into the sorcery rework you probably didn't realize was this big. If you'd like a more in-depth sorcery guide, I do have one of those on how to level it, what you get per level, how to level quickly, and all of that good stuff, linked in the description. First huge change is that they've tripled that blood yield. Where we used to only get 1 blood, we now get 3, which means faster tone progression and ritual summoning goodness. The more blood you got, the more bodies you can recall and things you can summon at your summoning circle. Soul Drain does seem to remain the same as far as I can tell. Something else really cool that they've changed, if you happen to have a sorcerer nearby, the higher grade the better, meaning instead of 3, we should get 6. And for the price of only 3 glass flasks, because even though the new upgrade is 1 blood for 3 sacrificial blood, it will still need 3 flasks for those bloods. So this is basically free blood flasks. Definitely do it. I think I said 25% efficiency. That's for the bench over there. It's actually double the yield. I'm mixing my melons already. I can't actually tell what difference the sorcerers are making with that 25% per level of efficiency. Not sure what's going on there. So my tier 4 guy in a theory should be doing 100% more efficiency, but it seems the same speed. Everything costs the same amount, not 100. But it does turn out your creepy little basement man finally does have something useful to do with the sacrificial stones at least. Quick little tangent before we get on to the next section. I literally just hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. I couldn't have done it without all of you guys subscribing. So on to the next goals. See if we can get to 100,000k. Maybe no, I already made that joke. Anyway, back to the game. We've got a big quality of life improvement, less animation time, smoother gameplay, allegedly. Before, tier 1, random pouches. Tier 2, random pouches. Tier 3, more random pouches. Now, no more carrying 3 pouch types. Requirements are simplified and reduced, and early tier spells are free. Yes, that's right, free. So basically all the spells up until it makes you escalate your corruption. These are all free, and all the ones in the other categories, so you can ice bridge away. And that was a shit placement, but yay. Look at me go. Alternatively, I would have actually mentioned this if in my dungeon guide as a light source, if I thought this was going to be more viable. You can summon your little wisp. Never mind, picked the wrong category. Is the middle one. And we can imbue a little wisp. And this guy will light up your path until you unsummon him, essentially, by going through the same steps. Oh, for some reason he didn't work. Well, it worked earlier. You can basically spam the fun spells now without feeling like a broke-ass wizard. Have you ever been fanging for one rare resource and you have a whole bunch of common ones and you really just need that thing? Well, we've now got transmuting of resources. Maybe not that wildly useful for farming in mass. Now you will have to level up some things to acquire this. Do see my detailed sorcerer's guide for that. But once you have it unlocked, you can then trade in certain stuff like 500 stone for a crystal. You're also going to need some diluted sorcerer's blood, which you can acquire at a sacrificial stone. Again, see that guide. And the better the bench you got, the cheaper it's going to cost. You also now no longer have to place everything in the bench. You can have it in your inventory, so that's pretty dope. But a mild digression. Let's craft one and see what we get. Well, it's more than 1, so that's not bad. Just converted some stone into iron, and now I can convert iron into silver stone. Not a bad little turnaround, not gonna lie. It's a little bit better than I anticipated, but still, it's not gonna replace farming. It's definitely gonna come in handy if you live somewhere poopy, or if you just need a couple of things in a pinch. And certain levels will require slightly better Sorcerer's Lifeblood, which will require some other fun things. Again, I go into more detail in my Sorcerer's Guide. And we got a couple of new goodies at our old summoning circle. First up, we have our Summon Trader of Blood. He's a non-aggressive demon, trades resources in bulk, time-limited summon, and great for mid-game farming. We will need a Tome of Nurgle and certain levels of sorcery. You craft the tome in the Thermagogy once you've leveled that up, some Sacrificial Blood, a little bit of gold coin, and some regular blood. Now they are time-limited, so you do want to have this stuff kind of prepared. And unfortunately at the moment I'm not 100% sure on the actual time-limitedness of them. If you happen to know, chuck it up in the comments so others can join in the joy of knowing things. Here's the little fella himself looking like a cutie patootie with horns. And for some blood we can get... That's a really decent source of blood crystal, not gonna lie. Especially as blood is incredibly easy to acquire. Unfortunately, I can't access it while old mate is there. Let's grab some. Because you can trade blood crystals in at Mechamosis' Spire for some goodies, so that's pretty awesome. Everything else kind of meh, but dope if you need it for stuff. Battle Corruption's interesting. Well, while I'm waiting for him to despawn, let's summon our next guy. It That Hurts, a mysterious beast. He's supposed to offer hunting services, but we shall see. He's currently bugged for many players, so yeah, he's probably is just broken and it's not you. Funcom things, am I right? Just in time for a Sandstorm, of course. Access him. So there's just a couple little story thing, and you can go to that, which also leads from this one. I'm going to offer him a drop of blood. It seems indifferent. Oh, old mate's gone, so it is about 5 minutes or under that he lasts. And I'd say probably similar for this guy. Maybe a molten heart? Well, that's something. Well, I went through all the options and Obsidian gave me the best, so I don't know. I'd say Funcom things as well for now. If I figure it out, I'll make another guide. Last but not least, we have our avatar of Bugrug. He is fully aggressive. He does seem to break the summoning circle, potent damage, and it's likely an intended mechanic. So be warned, if you summon him, you won't have your summoning circle anymore. So we'll drop the goodness there, and apparently he's just gonna attack all my thralls. That's pretty cool. He's yeah, fully indifferent to my existence. That's pretty cool. But the fun thing, when we kill him, we can get the molten hearts. You can also farm them in the Warmaker's Sanctuary, I do believe. And don't forget to hack him up for your chance to get even more hearts. So good for either farming, as it's not too expensive for him, considering. Or you can summon him near someone's base and cause a little bit of havoc. I don't know, it's up to you. So they have smoothed our progression in the Tome of Kurak a tad. They have reduced some of the costs. And now that we get that 3 times blood, or 6 times blood if you got that sorcerer, it's going to be even quicker again. You can finally finish your tome before the death of the universe now. Yay. Ye old teleportation stone actually got some nerfs, but buffs to us, but nerfs to it. So the penalty is reduced. The debuff only lasts 10 seconds, so it's far less punishing to travel from base to base or simply your favorite map locations. Let's go. So yeah, 10 minutes and we're out. Barely even noticed the corruption. That's the sorcery overhaul explained. I'll be testing some of the new features of this update in full detail because they're kind of scuffed right now. Like if this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.